We've seen a lot of jurisdictions around this country indulge in what I would say are faddish thinking, attacking law enforcement, thinking that you can solve some of these problems through things like social services instead of police on the street. You never saw us defund police in the state of Florida, not on my watch.
Governor Ron DeSantis touting crime on the decline in Florida, rolling out a criminal justice package to keep the trend going by reforming Florida's death penalty statute, pushing back against the abolishment of crime bail, and cracking down on the fentanyl crisis by increasing penalties for drug-related crimes. Let's bring in Leo Terrell, civil rights attorney and Fox News contributor, and Richard Fowler, contributing writer for Forbes, also a Fox News contributor. Gentlemen, thank you both. Leo, he's right. Not only are the crime numbers down in Florida, but the people there feel safer. I have family there. The New York Post wrote the following, quoting here, if I put this up: Azalea Banks offered Florida Governor Ron DeSantis her ringing endorsement in a new interview, proclaiming that she feels way safer living in the Sunshine State under the Republicans' leadership than she ever did in liberal California. Your thoughts, Leo?
Simply, Trace, America is hungry for law and order. You look at California. I watch your show every night, and you do that crime report. You look at New York. You look at these democratic cities, and there is crime. The criminals are the winners. And what Ron DeSantis is simply doing is he's increasing penalties for cases involving child rape, the use of drugs, and that serves as a deterrent. He makes these proposals to the Florida legislature. They make a final decision, and he signs the bill. But who doesn't want law and order? The Democrats, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and George Soros.
Is that a fair assessment, Richard Fowler? Do you not want law and order?
That is not a fair assessment at all. Trace, thanks for having me. Listen, I appreciate Governor DeSantis for rolling out some of reforms that could be made to criminal justice. I think one of the ones that there's there to highlight is how juries handle murder cases, specifically the Parkland shooter, and the fact that he didn't get the death penalty because one person on the jury disagreed with that. There are other parts of this reform bill that are indeed problematic. One is how he talks about fentanyl crimes. He talks about how he should prosecute those who are distributing, which I agree with. But then he says if you have possession of fentanyl, that you get the same type of penalty. Now, here's my problem with that. If you go back to America's failed war on drugs, where it incarcerated more people than helping them solve their drug addiction, what you found was that same type of policy. We will lock you up, we'll throw away the key, and somehow we think that's going to solve America's drug problem, when every expert has told us the way that drugs are a public health problem and not a criminal justice problem.
I'll let you chime in on this, Leo, but I mean, I got to say the problem now is, and Governor DeSantis, and he's going to have a soundbite here, but fentanyl is largely being ignored around this country, and it's largely being ignored because it's coming across the southern border, and nobody wants to cover the southern border,
penalizing
so nobody's
the
covering
user,
the deaths.
Trace, isn't the way to solve it.
I don't think that the goal is to penalize the user.
You got to help the addict.
And I don't think
that's what the law says. Have you read it?
I have read the law.
That's what his proposal says.
Yeah.
If you read his proposal, that's what he's advocating for.
Let's listen to Ron DeSantis, and we'll get your response.
We're going to make it a first-degree felony to possess, sell, or manufacture fentanyl or other controlled substances to look like candy, and going to add a mandatory life sentence and $1 million penalty if you're targeting children. So
just to go back to what Richard was saying, the line is possess, sell, or manufacture fentanyl to look like candy. It's not penalizing the people who've got the candy sitting in their hand because they got it off TikTok or Snapchat.
You know, it's disingenuous for Richard to come on this program, and every day Fox shows how much crime is in this city, in this country. It's disingenuous for him to come here and try to make a leap backwards and talk about the war on crime, war on drugs in 1984. You cannot deny, Richard Fowler, what's going on in New York, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Chicago, in these democratic cities. And for you to try to just ignore the subject, we have a fentanyl problem. Kids are dying. We have kids being exploited. They are being attacked. And you sit here and give democratic talking points. Why don't you just be upfront and honest? There is a freedom for criminals in these democratic cities, and you should be. No, come on. This network shows enough crime in New York. Sir. This weekend, you and I know that in Chicago, many people are going to be dying
Let him
black
talk.
on black
Go
crime.
ahead, Richard.
You do that on purpose.
Go ahead, Richard.
In that soundbite, the key word there is possession. So that means if an addict of fentanyl has a piece of candy, a piece of fentanyl that looks like candy, they will receive the same penalty as somebody that is stealing it.
That's not the intent of the law. That is not the intent of the law.
That is exactly what the governor just said. That's exactly what's in his proposal.
Element, and we can play the whole law. That is not the intent.
What parenthetical
You should be
element?
ashamed of yourself.
Possession is in the English language. Are we disagreeing with Webster's dictionary here?
I just want to say
that means Webster's dictionary is wrong about the word possession.
Lastly, if I can just say, as we kind of wait for this tape to come out of Memphis, this Tyree Nichols tape, Leo, I just got 15 seconds for each of you. What are you anticipating tonight?
I'm anticipating professional agitators, as Ted Williams said, to act up and to create havoc. Unfortunately, this is what is going on in these Democratic cities. You have a situation where there is a horrific crime, where these officers are being charged. We got to let the process play out. I want to see the videotape, but I'm hoping that there is a minimization of crime throughout the nation on this issue.
Very quickly, Richard.
Trace, last time I checked, Tennessee was a red state. But beyond that point, what I hope happens tonight is that America continues to see that we're dealing with a problem that we cannot address until we have honest conversation on how we ensure the policing is effective, accountable, and holds the community at its core.
Yeah, it is a red state, and Memphis is a blue city. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.